Oh, the future forecaster. You want to hear more about the future? My forecast of the future? Again, you've heard a lot of my thesis on it. You want reality, if you're listening to this, you're in a place right now, they're not sure if it's hell, if it's worse. They say hubris was a hard punishment back in the day throughout history, and these gods and blah blah blah, and you have all these predictions. They have the tower going down. In the future, there's going to be high ambition. You're going to start off just like any family does here. I mean, it's a place that has tough people. I mean, people are busy as shit. They're working, they're hauling ass. Everyone is focused on like it's old Dave shit, and it's the bootleg, and he's coming up and he's supplying. A lot of people suspect men to be doing the same thing, and it's true. They'll get into drugs. Drugs will do shit. They'll be looking for drugs. They won't have enough money. These are people you see end up in kind of a lower class, middle class old house. It's called a cold house, and haven't ended up in the same thing, assuming the same way. Dudes keep ending up in the same way. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be okay. But you're gonna have serious issues on dudes getting sick of getting framed, getting tossed out their house, fighting, no one knows anything, blaming dudes. In a place where people are jealous, they're frustrated more. They're doing a lot of flaring. So they wonder why these dudes explode and put their fucking mouth through their feces. And they said it was like a lot of Nazis even. The West was even worse. They were screaming and yelling at their fucking kids. They were arguing about shit. But none of them were really sure. They were trying to get them to go their way, and they thought their parents, they said, giving their sons it wasn't correct. Wasn't that bad. Sure, the kids are spoiled. Dad does have middle class job. It's a tough job though. That's the thing. Dudes are gonna be tossed like a teacup, 1920. You need to start working full time and shit. They're gonna be jobs temporary. You're gonna get in arguments. It's gonna be with your parents. Even if you're stuck with your parents, it's gonna be with your parents. It's gonna be almost as equally frustrating. But it's your parents. Blah blah blah. By now, you've seen Christine, right? So that's how the average big guy starts here. They want to hog, blah blah blah. Start coming to school, bumping the system. Dudes are getting sick of petty shit. Also, too, so when you steal from a man in a gang, they have to kill you, right? So even police have a tough time. They don't know what's going on because dudes will be mad too. You're going to realize when you get mad at stuff flares up, you can flare another guy. They lock on. They're fighting after. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who's right. See, they don't even know what is what. They think maybe, but what the male is saying is not all funny fun. And they're missing business opportunity, blah, blah, blah. He says, okay, mom. He says, so you trying to get me mad, or blah, blah, blah. Dudes do it too. They go get a ghost girlfriend. The same thing happens. They suspect. You see other guys like me in court 3 times already. Some guy takes 10 hits. So in the future, it's going to be separation too. There's a better chance of getting hit by lightning. And they don't understand shit. They're doing shit like a perfect chicken. They got these hogs and these bulls and these places end up in the cutters. And then some say it's for a reason too, that they talk about it after, geez, those windows were shitty. The bugs would have got them by then. Out in Russia going bug shit with the second Putin and Basar, right? They're partying shit. These guys get empowered. They start getting dudes. Same thing. They break their backs up. They just have a couple army guys. They know dudes in the army. They think, geez, they beat their parents up. They ran away. Now they got to join the army. They got to do the army thing now. Imagine getting trapped in that, and you don't have the freedom like this too. you're going to be in there. It's the same thing. Your mind, the only difference is a computer and that connection. You got guys dicking around now at resized bars. They know dudes model. That's a hubris view. They're at sucking turtle cock. I left it at that. That's Counter-Strike the next time in. 3 rounds. It was clipping out. It was bugging out, dusting out. There's fur in here after, you know? So you're going to get into arguments with either your dad or your mom, and it's going to be over stupid shit, and dudes are going to start thinking you're weird, and when you get low, you're not going to like it. And guys like the gods are going to be partying, mistaking your valor, and doing these weird appointment scans. Ever since they did this push on Ball's Bluff, they had to do this. You're buried in people now. It's not like the old ways. I mean, when you're supported here, your ass is wiped. The old guys, like they said, your train of thought is going to kick in like a Jedi, right? So if you're used to arguing, man, they're looking for different families and even drug dudes that are less belittling and they're doing shit correctly, just like some of these guys you see on tape. Other guys you hear like old Dave and they tugged it through. But guys don't have that kind of, guys like me too, when we get tossed out in 1920, we're, what is it on now? You're on AISH down the road and you need PMS shit while their PMS shit is flaring and they're jealous. They're jealous too. That's the funny thing. That's what happens in music. You should see some of the black guys. I mean, you hear the Big Lurch freaking out and just all these different guys on black market. It's true. They're similar thing. The other guys toughed it out. They stay solid. They took the hits on the back. Even dudes got shot. Other guys are nowhere near because they know they're different after, right? Just three hits. You know, what's going on to cause that kind of rage? Anyways, it's going to be gray days in the future. There's going to be wars. Wars create the same thing. Different dudes settle down in the future. But if you got charges and you're in this and shit and you're Big Willie, there's going to be a rock there because you know these guys are going to be violent. Now they are going to be running check stops and shit. And dudes know now, cool down because they're getting technology that can see badges. And in the next 40 years, it's going to be similar to this. And you know I'm going to be bootlegging. No one knows too. In Canada, it's whited out. No one has history, right? It's the internet. Phone line's a game, man. And they try to take that and shit and mess around with you. That's when you're going to get complaints. You could even get guys to break your fucking neck, show up. You're talking shit online. Don't go around bitching too. And they could do better things in time. They spend a lot of time arguing. One person is just da 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 da. That's the kid shit, and it's their way. They don't blah blah blah. That's not the male's views, and not only that, they're just do. By then they say these guys freak out on drugs and kill their parents. I'm solid though. They're not going to get me in. You don't draw blood. You could say this and that. Ain't a lot is said, and there it is. Well, a lot's said here, but only what's written. So there they are looking. Oh, hey, dang. It's also too funny, too entertaining. Sometimes they think it's comedy. This is all real shit too. Like it's a little bit of a script. Yeah, you got to say that too, so they can't calm down and say it's pre-med and shit. They're used to it now, though. By now they know me too. I'm the king. You know, Tom's running around. I'm telling these guys, you come around and Matt made you touch shit. It's hardcore mode, worse than hell. There you got a gun to your back after you're running from, it's your fucking parents' house. You beat your girlfriend's mouth in just like Kira. They're off the Ball's Bluff after. They're mad at you. You got to think what they're doing too. You know, it's to the point you're that lippy. We'll put a fucking veil on your face. You're after ISIS thinking that and sex economies and sex competition. So you're going to get people that are too spoiled, knocked off their ass. They're in jail. They say, geez, I wish I had this and that. Because the scenes change. It's almost the same space as my room, but again, you're not going to have the freedom to jump in a bath and watch TV whenever you want. You'll be able to watch TV and shit. But it will be different. You won't be able to smoke. You'll be times where you're dry, and the devil's advocate is playing. That's just all a bunch of hogwash, PMS now. It doesn't prove anything, and now you got to go to court. Some dudes will blow their brains out. That dude, they'll not think, and it will be old pops too. They're not going to go to court and charge. But when you do it catches you easier. Because they know who you are, just like the DNA shit. So in the future, you're going to have different quarrels with your mom. It's going to be weird. You're going to curse. And then you're going to shred through. You're going to be in a good mood. You're going to be balancing out. And you notice they cut down to you after. So you say it's like the police game. They're just doing it not to cooperate for hubris, tumbling after. Just like a lot of Americans, it's the same for Canadians. They go down, they don't get out of the way, and go in there like they're Terminator. Even RoboCop gets waxed by Robo, you know. So they do this. It's better than dog fucking. A lot of them would just be frozen. There wouldn't be any work. I mean, you wouldn't have a chance, you know, if it wasn't for people working too. So I mean, cleaning all this shit up because they know how shit works too. They've been 70s, it's kind of been the same since the 70s. Sure, we got cell phones. There's cameras now too. So they run off. What do? Play the victim, cry wolf, and they don't want to be seen. And even other dudes look at them. They know, yeah, you're just mother again. And once again, this weird thing. It makes dudes mad. They start, and then so they see things they don't like, and they get their entertainment too easy. Dr. Satan's gonna be fucking wild down there because that's what fuels them too. And it's gonna be blue. It's gonna end up flooded. It's gonna be right down to Zeus. I mean, that's what happens when chicks are getting in dudes' hairs too. They say, "Don't touch that guy," because it's penitentiary chances. It's true, and I mean, think of that when they can add up all the penitentiary chances. You know, they can go back. Your life has been recorded too. Just like back in the day, and you're too dirty, you see you have murder, you say, geez, this is heavy. Is it because you had to do it as a cop? That's different. Or if you just raged out and they're flaring you, right? So again, there's going to be big expectations. It's going to be a while wait. You know, you'll hear me selling 10,000 copies in the future or something by my own hands. They won't know when, how, or when. It's Canada, you know. I got buddies though. I mean, one buddy now, and different dudes can come in, and families ready to go fresh. Even these houses want to be rebuilt, but you know, if that's getting to them, man, they got a long tug yet of it too. You're gonna be it's harder than thought too. A lot of them are already out. They did the damage. The cops come, they say, you fucking butt fuck, another bowl of shit. Even chicks, right? Most of the time, the guy ends up killing it because the guy can throw down, right? So, I mean, and then there's guys like me, it's just so much rage, their mouth is exploded, just like bars and shit. Dudes take it out, dudes are looking, they say, where do they take it out? These loud guys, they get the same thing. They don't know if these dudes are crazy or not, right? They're saying all these stories, they're kind of funny, it's Gary, it's old Gary, he's got the beard, they fear the beard, guys they fear too. That's why they fear this place, because it's a nightmare, you know. And some of them prefer less fucking feeling in it, like doing the neck road shit. You're gonna say, these feelings tougher with it, no pain, no gain. I mean, they're gonna be in their little attitude now, and nothing's there, right? Just over their little quarrel, and they see it their more side their way, and they're pity-potty, blah, 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 blah. They can tell shit. That's why some of them come in your house and attack you and shit. Or straight, get the fuck out right away. You said something while we've been thinking about shit. And the stigmas and shit, dog shit, right? So, again, there's reality hits. And you know dudes are not superstars, right? Even though they could be watching and shit and the pressure's up and shit. They would love to even get to where I am in the weight. But when that weight kicks in, man, you're going in through kind of the blues times. I mean, you're going to dip in a little bit to chicks. I mean, don't get your hopes up. It's going to be like Ghost and Old Witty. They're going to be testing how rigid you are. How long did you go in that? Because the apes went down like a bunch of butt fucks. They don't know the difference, right? Too many times wrong. Stupidity to that level, and you say something that's incorrect. You're a dial-up while the highway's going. You're the by then they're done. They're ganked. Bootleggers, hunters, cops, or whatever, they see it, they say, shaking around and shit. They know they can use other dogs. They can look in and listen. There's a lot of traffic. They're going to start talking. It's not just whited out. That's the thing, right? And it's different when you're older, man. You got the fear side. Like I said, there's going to be a turtle in the mix. That's where the chances for they're trying to push. That's why you see that bolt. It's even taking fucking strong kings out. And their little Bible men are small after, you know, Cain was in there for years, man. Zeus, same thing.
how long did you do it? They said 800 years. You made an appearance. They had him pushing that rock that fucking long.